a panther doesn't have to roar to justify how powerful it is, right? I really felt that because dealing with identity and all of this stuff and who I want to be as a woman, as a mom, I have to nurture that and I have to do things like raise a son and present myself as my authentic self.
It's your composure and your kindness and your empathy and your love and being dangerous that actually makes you a special person.
I was in sports that were single person sports. I had to perform by myself without a team. It was just me. And then I did sports where I had to interact with a team. I had to learn how to multitask. I do think that martial arts does create a level of confidence for individuals, especially young people doing martial arts. It gives you the confidence to stand up to people and in situations that you may not have in the past.
Being dangerous is actually a virtue if it's Des, how are you?
Life is lifing, my friend.
Life is lifing. All right, so you're on Man on a Mission. This is my podcast. The reason it's called Man on a Mission is because I'm a man on a mission, but every human that I come across that we bring on the show, woman, man, doesn't matter, they all seem to be on these really profound missions. So it's kind of like taking the center point of our show is really the mission people are on. We usually start in the lows, sort of how you got there, the pain that's likely you transformed into purpose. And my experience with you has been amazing. So I got to spend a whole weekend with Desiree Wodicker, by the way. I don't even think I've introduced you properly, who is a Muay Thai kickboxer, right?
Muay Thai and kickboxing, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So all I know is this: I met this beautiful girl. We're learning how to fight down at Operation Blacksite, and I got pulled to the front of the line, and she kicked me in the stomach. Is like, hey, let me show you how to properly kick. And all I remember is that all the air just left my body quickly, and this insane, like I'm still smiling because I got abs and I'm supposed to be tough, right? And inside I'm kind of like, fuck, that hurt. So this was my introduction to Desiree Wodicker, who goes by Des, by the way. So we'll call her Des from going forward. But this was my introduction to you. And then I got super interested and I found out who you are. And I realized you're this amazing woman that's on a mission. And you're one of the best fighters and the female fighters in the world. You're a Muay Thai fighter, right? So you might have to explain sort of to our audience what you do, where you came from, and what you're all about to sort of address the audience here, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you're doing okay. I think the general population doesn't know what Muay Thai is. And it's so funny because creating awareness around the sport, creating awareness around the martial art. Yep. And I think martial arts is becoming more and more popular to just your everyday person. The UFC obviously has pioneered a big space in this and creating awareness around martial arts and what it stands for. But there's also other things. There's Taekwondo, there's Muay Thai. There's so many different kinds of arts that come from different regions of the world. And Muay Thai, I believe, because of a Platform One championship, it has started to become more and more popular, right? And so I think a lot of people have persuade me or tried to move me going towards MMA, but I've stayed authentic to where my art is and my expertise. And this is what I love, which is stand up. But Muay Thai originated from Thailand. It is the art of 8 limbs because you're using boxing, you're using kicks, you're using knees, and you're using elbows. And we do also have clinch that is within Muay Thai. So it is arguably one of the most violent martial arts that is out there. However, Muay Thai was not originated to create violence. It was more about self-defense than it was, imposing someone's will onto somebody like that, right? But it's a very, very beautiful sport. There's a lot of respect around the culture, the Thai people that have for generations practice this art. And so, yeah, it's a really cool sport, but it is very violent. And there's been viral reels on Instagram that's been like, Muay Thai is pain. There's a Thai guy in Thailand saying Muay Thai is pain. If you can't endure pain, if you're someone that can't handle pain, then this sport is not for you. right? So it's been a really cool journey, learning and understanding the culture, going to Thailand, seeing firsthand like what these people stand for. And they are respectful, the utmost level of respect, right? Because you see these people on the UFC, you see these people on other platforms, just like in their face, they're aggressive, somewhat disrespectful. And that is not at all what Muay Thai is. Matter of fact, if you behave in that fashion as a Muay Thai practitioner, you will probably get looked down upon, right? Because that's just not the culture and what they stand for. So I believe in adhering to the same things, and in the way I present myself to the public, the way I present myself to my opponents, right? And a lot of times they're caught off guard because I'm very nice to them. And then we turn around and punch each other in the face. But afterwards, it's all good, and we're friends, and there's a lot of camaraderie around that.
Amazing. How did you get started in Muay Thai?
Yeah, so this is also part of like the journey in which I tell people when we talk about human empowerment and doing things that are different in our lives and trying new things out, because my story is very much that. I walked into my gym currently at CSA, 8 years ago, wanting to do CrossFit on Saturdays, which was a free class. And I went with my girlfriend because we were doing some body competition lifting and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, like I kind of want to punch something. And I went in there and I trained a few times, and I was like, wow, this is really great. I love this. And everybody in there was such badasses. I have like a lot of peers at my gym that were top level athletes in mixed martial arts or Muay Thai. And so it was inspiring to kind of see these people and the lifestyle that they'd lived. So I naturally have always been an athlete. I cheered growing up. I played soccer. I did competitive gymnastics. So I was very much an athlete and didn't get to pursue a lot of those into college and on a high level because of just life circumstances and an accident that I had gotten into. So it was really kind of an opportunity to do something different, but still be an athlete and compete. And yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. And so I think I was in a very weird transition in life where I was changing my lifestyle, changing the things that I did, deciding to be more of a healthy individual, and just having an open mind about life and trying new things. And then I found Muay Thai. So I think if I hadn't been going through those transitions and having an open mind, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah. What's cool is when I met you, you're such a class act, and you exude confidence. You have a very great aura that sort of sweeps around you. I think it's a beautiful thing, sort of that self-confidence that you walk with. I wonder if fighting is really something more people should consider to be able to really build that self-confidence, that awareness, and really that self-respect that I think we all admire in a person that has it. Do you think it was the kind of the introduction to boxing or excuse me, fighting, or even just sports in general? I think so much in our society, we see people that are struggling with self-worth. We have so many issues in society these days, and you get around people like you and you really inspire a lot of confidence in someone else. And I think maybe there may be a connection to knowing how to defend yourself that maybe is what creates this unique aura that you have.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that, because I think energy and auras and all of these things are very real. And we have to protect our energy when we're around certain people, and understanding that dynamic is really important too, just for everyday living, right? And keeping our sustainability with that energy. And so, but I think for me, I have been like this for a very long time. And I think there are life events that have happened to me that have triggered me to push far beyond my limitations. And I think that martial arts just added to that in my growth. I do think that martial arts does create a level of confidence for individuals, especially young people, because now we live in this world where everybody is just this, it's just this. And I'm not saying doing martial arts and being able to like hit somebody in the public is, any way, shape, or form the right thing to do. But knowing that you have the confidence to say, hey, I'm going to stick up for myself in whatever circumstance that I'm in. And if you choose to engage with me on any kind of physical level, like I can be prepared to defend myself, right? Because people are very irrational. If I say, hey, I don't like you, you need to back up or move away from me, or I don't, and someone gets physical with you, right? That's the most extreme form of someone not accepting a boundary, right? Is physical interaction. You know that you have the capability to defend yourself. So I think that, yes, I agree with your statement. I also agree with, with young people engaging in martial arts, because there's so many things on the internet. There's so many pressures, especially for young women today, that I put my young sister in Muay Thai, and I saw a change in her, right? I mean, she's beautiful, but she's very soft and kind-hearted and very pure. And a lot of girls in high school were not nice to her, And so I told her, like, you can't be scared to stand up to these girls, and you can't be scared to say, sometimes we got to tell people to fuck off, And if you don't have the courage to do that, then yes, like doing something like martial arts might give you the confidence to stand up to people and in situations that you may not have in the past. So I 100% believe in some kind of either Krav Maga, self-defense, martial arts in a healthy way, whether it be an outlet or just for self-growth. So I do believe in that. It's cool to hit some shit, man. Like, it's cool. You feel great. It relieves stress. But going back to your question about the creation of the confidence and these things. No, I think that those things happened to me at a young age, right? Because I was put in situations where I was in sports that were single person sports. I had to perform at a level by myself without a team, and it was just me. And then I did sports where I had to interact with a team, and I had to learn how to be a team player. And so I think those things had a huge impact on who I am today. I very much enjoy at work. I work for Morgan Stanley. I do corporate presentations around high level things like education for equity compensation. And it's really challenging to get up in front of a big group of executives or a big group of people and educate them, right? So, you and I talked about that too. The public speaking is a very nervous thing. Am I going to deliver the message that I want to in an articulate way? So I think, that part of it is huge from my upbringing and involvement in sports.
Yeah. It's funny. You said a bunch of things that triggered a bunch of thoughts, but Jordan Peterson says that some people should be dangerous. Being dangerous is actually a virtue if it's utilized correctly. And the virtue comes in being dangerous and not having to use it and not using it unless you're challenged. That's where the virtue comes in. But it's not in being weak. He really preaches this, and I think it's a profound message that is probably right for this country as we see, especially in America, the softening of men, sort of this whole concept of masculinity being under assault, and what even a woman is and a man is, all these kind of profound questions that in the modern era we're forced to deal with and face. But I think you spoke to it perfectly. Like, being dangerous is actually a virtue. And it's your composure and your kindness and your empathy and your love paired with being dangerous that actually makes you a rare person and a special person. I think more people should be dangerous. I kind of jump on that bandwagon. I want to be more dangerous. I mean, I want to learn how to make sure that I really have that unfuckable energy to its fullest degree. It's one thing to have confidence, but it's another thing to be able to back it up in a really a tough circumstance. To be a hero, it's easy to talk like one, but would you really be one if some shit went down? And I know you would be.
Right.
I wouldn't want to fuck with you. You know what I mean? I've actually been kicked by you, so I can say that with authority. You would crush most people in this world, men or women, it doesn't matter. One kick from Des and you're fucked. It's not going to be a pretty sight. You are going to be crushed. It's going to hurt, and you'll be on the floor. How does it feel walking around with that type of confidence where you know that if anybody messes with you or puts anything you care about at risk, that within seconds you could put someone on a floor?
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that. And I'm going to be really honest with you. When I'm out of the gym, I sometimes forget that I have these skills. And it's not until I get into the gym that I'm like, holy fuck, like I can do this. So I have to remind myself that I have trained and built these type of skills, because outside of work, I'm just Des. I'm a mom. I'm in corporate America. I'm this human being that I see myself as like this sweet Des that I know that I am, right? And it's taken years to control things like attitude and temper and all of this stuff. But, they say like, a panther doesn't have to roar to justify how powerful it is, right? Like I posted that on my Instagram a couple weeks ago, and I really felt that because I dealing with identity and all of this stuff and who I want to be as a woman, as a mom, right? As a fighter, understanding what kind of brand and what I want to present to the public. This is a lot that Des has been thinking about over the last couple of years, and how I want to present myself as my authentic self, because a lot of fighters I come across, some of them are all ego and this and that. And like, I'm not like that. I try to lead with love in almost everything that I do until, we're not cool anymore. And then I'm like, I just don't like you. Right. But in terms of like who I am, I have to remind myself that I can do these things sometimes. So it's really interesting. But I grew up to speak to your point of like masculinity and being a woman and being a man and kind of people losing sight in that today in society. For me, I had a really interesting upbringing. So my mom did not raise me. My dad raised me, and he's ex-Force Recon Marine, total badass growing up and very strict. Always pushing me to be better. And it was this militaristic mindset. I think that for me, I grew up in a very masculine energy because I didn't have a mom around, right? And so that carried on into my adulthood where I had to learn, hey, like, is this part of this masculine energy that you're holding? It's preventing you from having a healthy relationship. It's preventing you for being vulnerable with people and having empathy. And so I had to really dig deep and understand that self, evaluation of one that, I had to also be able to be this feminine woman, because at the end of the day, I am a woman, right? And I have to nurture, and I have to do things like raise a son. And I have to learn how to do these things. Like, I'm not a man at the end of the day, right? I'm not a man. I am a woman, and I'm proud to be a woman. And so understanding how to wear different hats and different roles at times when it's appropriate has been kind of a lifelong kind of journey for myself.
Yeah. What amazing. I can tell you'd be an amazing mentor for the average young woman in this country. I don't think you could pair yourself with maybe a better personality like yours, because you bring all these unique elements that I think are probably more valuable than maybe anything, but especially when it comes to value and self-worth. So my question would be really coming from my perspective, someone that is so solid, rock solid human, succeeding in life, building a great brand, winning at the highest levels in your craft. What are you actually struggling with? What are the things that you struggle with the most right now?
Yeah, so I think we talked about this a little bit briefly while we were in Operation Blacksite. And I think it's so funny that we're talking about purpose and finding your purpose in life. And so, I'll take it back a little bit and share with you. So when I was 16 years old, I got into a very traumatic motorcycle accident. I was on the back with my uncle who we went head on into a Yukon going, 60 something miles per hour. And he died right in front of me. And it was life-changing for me, for a 16-year-old, right? I was at the time, freshman, sophomore in high school. I was in varsity cheerleading, varsity soccer, student council, you name it, I was doing it, right? I was always involved in activities, doing things at school, and then this event happened and it completely changed the trajectory of my life. I wanted to go to KU and cheer, and I wanted to do all of these things and go to college, and that never happened for me. And actually the exact opposite. I got very distracted. I moved to California because I wasn't getting along with my parents, fell into usage of drugs and hanging out with the wrong people and anything that you could imagine at the worst bottom level, I have been there. And I had to accept the fact that it was time to change my life. I then got pregnant at 21 and had my son very young. And so as time went on, right, the next 10 years or so, I started doing things, and it has carved this path to where I am today, which I am very grateful for, right? You and I have talked about faith and my Christianity and my role with faith and what I believe. And I believe that all of the crazy things that have happened to me, the trauma and things, has led me up to where I am today, and extremely grateful for the mistakes and all the experiences that I've had. But I look back and as I'm evaluating, going through therapists and working through some of these traumas, I thought to myself, and I think everybody should ask this question where they are in their life. How did I get here today? Right? I don't think we stop in chapters of our life and say, oh my gosh, how did I get here today? I'm sure we can all go back and remember certain key points and decisions that we made that changed the trajectory of our lives, that got us on this path today. And so when I think about that and I say, okay, how did I get into wealth management? How did I get into fighting? How did I get into these things? Did they all come from an authentic place? Meaning, did I make the conscious decision for myself to take this path because I felt it was going to fulfill me or give me a greater purpose down the line? And so what I found for myself is that a lot of the decisions that I had made in the past were not from an authentic place. They were from pure survival, or, I'm 21 years old. I need to get a real job. I have to provide for a child. I have to do all of these things because I'm a single mom, right? So all of that happened because I'm just trying to survive out here in the world. Now, I can't go back. I can't change those things. I can't change the circumstances. We can only control what we can control. And I am here today with a wealth of knowledge in finance, a wealth of knowledge in martial arts, not even as much as some of my teammates, that have been doing this for 10, 20 years. But I have a wealth of knowledge that I think is very unique to myself. And however, some of the decisions that I made in the past, today I have these things, and now I can kind of change what that looks like for myself to give me my purpose. Does that make sense? Like, I never thought wealth management would be a part of my story. But then the question now becomes, how do I carve a path that wealth management becomes purposeful for me and my life and the ways that I want to see myself going forward?
Yeah. What's cool is that weekend when Bedros was there, he talked about everything he does is for pure enjoyment, for pure purpose. It has to have meaning to him or he won't do it. It's cool when everything you do, you can start attaching that thought to does this give me happiness? Does this fulfill my destiny or my purpose? It's a really powerful place to get in life. It's rare to get there. It seems like you're there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would like to have some more wealth, right? I think for me, I struggle with acceptance of taking things to the next level from just a financial standpoint. I think I've made some bad decisions in the past that have prohibited me from taking it to the next level with stuff. And now I'm making key decisions that I think I will catapult me in that direction, right? Sure. But when you grow up poor, when you grow up with some of, not things that have given you an opportunity, just like a silver spoon, you have a hard time accepting I'm worthy of being successful. I'm worthy of having generational wealth, right? That maybe that wasn't part of your story. And so there are struggles that I have with today in making those decisions that will catapult me to the next level. So those are some struggles that I have today that I'm currently working on and tackling head on, whether it be through therapy, whether it be, seeking conversations with people and friends like yourself to give me perspective on life that maybe weren't ingrained in me as a child or in my upbringing, but being open-minded to, oh my gosh, like I can do this. These people are doing this. These people have great messages, and I can latch on to those things for myself as long as I'm keeping that open mind.
Yeah, I agree. I would love on you a lot here because you have a lot of gifts to give the world. You're incredibly smart, super talented. Really monetizing your passion is something that's rare. Most people will never be able to do it. You're in a prime position to really capitalize on really your craft in a unique way. I mean, I don't know if that's the direct lane you want to take it or if you want to stay inside the financial services industry. but you would be really a fool to not realize like the value you bring the world, and that value will create demand that the world will pay for. There's very few women out there that could kick my stomach the way that you did. How you brand that, how you grow that, how you turn that into a message that inspires women in the world, it's incredibly valuable. So it'll be cool to sort of watch you keep building what you've already started. Clearly you're on the right path, and how all these things tie together will be interesting sort of to watch your journey unfold. But from my perspective, you're a pure inspiration, and you're exactly what this world needs.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Eric. And, you know, so it's funny that you say that. So let's talk about coaching, right? Because you're a coach, you're a mentor, you're a speaker, you're many things to a lot of people. And I follow your content, and it's amazing. And, you know, I think that you're spreading a really good message out there. And so I have behind the scenes been working on my branding, been working upon my message. And, you know, I picked up coaching. From somebody that would teach me how to coach from a standpoint of mindset and mental health and growth. And so that is something I'm kind of developing behind the scenes that I'm hopefully this year, you know, before summer, that I'm launching to the public, that I'm really excited about. I haven't said a lot of things out in the public, but I am secretly working on the backdrop of this, because I think sometimes we're like, well, we got to stay in this one lane, right? Like finance is a lane of mine I've been in. It's part of my identity. It's part of who I am. Fighting is a lane that I have. It's a part of my identity now, right? And then the mentoring and the coaching and the speaking part of things, I think that's another lane that would really provide me gratification, because I think that in this lonely world that we live in, right? I think about where in the past do I wish I had someone that could give me mentorship, that could give me advice about a path in my life that I don't know. And some people, they don't have paths because they don't even know how to create a path for themselves. They don't even know where to start, right? And so that is something that I've had to do through self-discovery, all on my own, a journey that has been very lonely. It has been very, you know, trial and error, not knowing the right people, taking advice from the wrong people. And now we live in a world of social media where, you know, we can get this information and have access to this about, you know, creating a fulfilling life. And so I want to be a part of that. I want my mistakes and my journeys to help somebody down the line that maybe doesn't have the resources and have the things, right? So I think we're all on this journey of creating purpose, and it feels so good. It feels so good that I'm like, God, I want this person to feel like that. I want this person to feel like, wow, I have a hold of my life, you know?
Yeah, it's cool when you find purpose and you feel like your life matters and you're leaving an impact, but you got to earn it. A lot of people, like they want that, but they haven't really earned the right to have it. You do got to earn it. You got to get through some scar tissue. But I would say this, these mentors that you talk about, these are the people that keep the world going around. People think this is a new phenomenon, this idea of coaching and mentorship and giving your gifts away. This has been going around since the beginning of freedom. Every great person out there can attribute most of their success to countless mentors that were along the path during different parts of their life. Social media has just sort of heightened it into like an actual business. But the reality is this is what's been going around since the beginning of time. Every great person I've ever met, every great man or woman I've ever met will contribute a large proportion of their success to some sort of energy they tapped into that was from some sort of mentor from their past, some sort of coach or someone that guided them. It might even been a school teacher or a football coach or a baseball coach, but it's been around since the beginning of time. And I've yet to find a CEO that has not had great coaching and great mentorship in their life. This is something I wish I would have stumbled onto earlier in my own career. A lot of the natural mentors for me came from my own customers. So I was already sort of in the fire of entrepreneurship, and I would find these great customers. There would be a wealth of knowledge to tap into. And that's where I learned a lot, but I wasn't smart enough to go seek it out. I wish I would have been. So for me and you to bring some 18-year-old into our hemisphere, I was just around an 18-year-old this morning before this call. He's in one of my in-person coaching groups. He's the youngest member of our group. It's an expensive group to be part of too. And so he's in the group. He's taking a big risk for a young buck. He's only 18. It's shocking to me. And he's in this group. What a genius at 18 years old to skip past all the competition who are drinking, partying. This kid's in here absorbing all this energy from all these great leaders in our community. There's a lot of really strong leaders inside my coaching group here in Coeur d'Alene, our Man on a Mission community. And here's this young kid. I'm looking at him, and we did a little pod with him, and he's talking about this business that he's about to start, and he's so nervous. He doesn't have one customer yet. And I'm thinking, holy shit, if I could have been doing this at 18 around Eric Rock, I'd be light years ahead, undeniable. I was doing the worst things at 18.
Yeah, same here, you know? Yeah, what a phenomenal, he's going to have a phenomenal story too. He's going to be a pave maker. Totally. And that is really cool because at 18, yeah, I mean, I had got some money from the accident. I bought a house in Atlanta. I invested in a men's boutique that failed. I was, moving marijuana around and doing all these crazy things. And, if I would have had somebody that I trusted and somebody to help me and the ability to just ask for help, that is one thing. And I think, like, to your point of like, you got to work for things. I mean, you can stand in front of somebody and first you have to have a purpose and you have to believe in that purpose. You have to live in that purpose. You have to, in everything, put everything into that purpose for someone like a mentor to say to you, I believe in you, I mean, I don't know if this is something that's, I'll talk, I don't even care. Bedros, Killian, I don't know if any of your followers follow him, but he is an amazing human being. And I had no idea about him until I came to Operation Blacksite. And I think he was like, Des, you're awesome. And I asked this guy, hey, I need some help with my fight, my upcoming fight. I'm fighting May 18th. On a card here in San Jose, which I hope you can come. But I said, hey, I'm trying to get some sponsors and some things. And he's like, you know what, Des? Like, you're awesome. I believe in you. Like, yes, I'm going to link you with these people. And it was me just asking for help and him seeing that, hey, this girl is like really working on her craft and working on her stuff. And she's a go-getter. And you have to see that. Like, if I'm a mentor or coach, you're going to stand in front of somebody and say, well, what do you want to do with your life? They have no direction. They have no anything. So first, you have to have that purpose and fully invest in that, right? And then that's when your mentorship is like, okay, I believe in this person and I'm going to invest my time, which time is what people don't realize is the most valuable currency that we have out there. Everything I do, Eric, is with urgency. And I know this may not be the most healthiest way to go about thinking about things, but I am someone that came from a place where life could end in any moment, in any second. Okay? I know that life is fragile. I know that life can just end tomorrow if God has that will for me. That's what my story is going to be. And I have this anxious energy that everything could end tomorrow. And I haven't done nearly anything that I've intended for my life, right? I haven't filled out my purpose with things that I believe God has put me to do on this earth. And I think a lot of people need more of that urgency when it comes just to their everyday life. Sure. Am I living my day every day in a fulfilling way? Is this person wasting my time? And if someone I feel like is wasting, I'm immediately done with that person. I'm immediately like, because you can't ever get back that time. And if I'm going to put that time into you or into this job or into this mentorship or into this whatever, it better be for a good reason, So I think it's great to have mentors and coaches and all of these things. But in order for them to really invest everything, they have to see your reasoning for things. They have to understand your story and they have to understand, hey, if you don't have a why, let's find out what that why is to get you fully engaged in life and living every day with a reason, with a goal in mind, with something attached to it that we can be grateful for and say, oh my God, this is what I'm living for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so good. It's amazing. It's true. It is cool to consider that you are now living inside your purpose. It's a fun place to get in life when, even if you're like not in the deep bowels of it right now, just to know you're near it and you're getting clearer and clearer on your mission and your vision for how your life's going to be. It's a really rewarding place to get. I think I feel like you're right there. You're close to it. You speak like you're far away, but your actions to me like tell me you're right where you're supposed to be. In that urgency piece, just to speak to that, add a little dust on that. I agree. Urgency is really important. We hear a lot, sort of it's this fight between be patient for the thing and then urgency, which seem like they contrast. I think there's two ways to blend those two together. It's kind of like being blissfully dissatisfied. My mentor, Ed Milet, always talks about being blissfully dissatisfied. I like that. It means I can have urgency and still enjoy the process along the way, put pressure on it. You know what I mean? I still want more. I'm not too complacent or too content. I'm just happily fighting for something and enjoying the systems and along the way, the process along the way. That's where all the gold's at. But it's the same thing with what you're saying. I think urgency is really important, but it won't happen overnight. You know what I mean? Being really wide aware that good things take time. And if everything were easy, everyone would have it. If money were easy, everyone would have it. If having a great body were easy, everyone would have it. If being tough was easy, everyone would be tough. You know what I mean? Like all the things we want in life are rare for a reason, and rare is rare for a reason. Hard is hard for a reason. It's people like you that pursue hard with urgency that are the ones that get the greatest rewards that life has to offer. And I think the greatest reward of all of them is purpose. You can die fulfilled when you have lived in your purpose. And it's the rarest of all commodities is really it's time. It's finding purpose. I think it's your relationships is another currency that's incredible, and your emotions. All sort of these things I think stem from the environment that you're constantly in. And if your environment is these incredible relationships, great purpose, really maximizing your time and being efficient with it, it's inevitable that you're going to find financial freedom. Like that's sort of, I think, a byproduct of being very talented and very aware of all these things. Sooner or later, you start making decisions where your dollars start compounding down the road. But yeah, it's cool. You're right. I think you're right in the sweet spot. You feel that you're in the sweet spot right now?
Yeah, I do. I feel like a lot of dots have been connected. I've been praying a lot, man. And I've been, thinking inward every single day and giving my gratefulness to, God every single day for the lessons and the things that have happened over the last year. There's been a lot of stuff for me. I transitioned with work from a team I was working with. It hit my income hard. Like I had to move. I had I could go on and on about the hardship over this last year, but the opportunities that for growth that it has brought me are next level. It has taken me to the next level. We say in my work, right? I'm a hunter, and that's exactly what I am at work. I'm a hunter, right? I gather assets. This is part of my job. And I am a hunter. And so I started telling myself, Desiree, like, it doesn't matter what this is going to be better for you longer down the line. And so you got to take this kick to the ass right now if you're going to change the rest of your life. If you want to take control and the things that you said that you wanted to do, you wanted to stop working under men, you wanted to take control, have your own situation, have your own practice, your own rules and how you're running your business, everything, then you have to go through these pain to get there. And so there have been some really exciting things and opportunities that have come up in this last month. I can't talk about those things now, but I'm excited to take things to the next level. And I know it's going to be hard, but you know what? Like I'm trying to create a generational gap of things that didn't happen for my family members to happen for my children and my future spouse and my future life and what that may look like. So I'm kind of taking those hits right now, gladfully, and there's every day there's little wins and there's little things that remind me, okay, you're on the right path, including today I was talking.
Yeah. Totally. 100% you're on the right path. Well, our time's coming up to a short. We're going to have to do this again, but I want to sort of wrap it here a little bit because we were on the tight clock. She just showed up today so quick. We needed to have this podcast time filled. So thank you on short notice, Des, for showing up for you. But normally I would have been prepared with more questions because I love like sort of rapid fire questions that really challenge you or are fun. But on a scale of really 1 to 10, I'm going to ask you just a few fun questions here. So as we wrap these last few minutes that we have, how does it feel to knock someone out? How does it feel to knock someone out?
I've never only knocked someone out in training by accident. And my immediate response is like, oh my God. And okay, well, let me take this back. My last fight, I almost knocked the girl out with a head kick, except I extended too far on my cross. So it didn't have the momentum to like actually knock her out. But her face, she freaking like did this. She freaking did the freaking stanky leg wobbling in the ring. And I was like, oh my God, I actually kind of froze. And so that's something that me and my team, my coach have been working on of pulling that trigger. Yeah, don't freeze. Because I was like, oh my God, she's going down.
What's one word you would describe yourself as?
Resilient.
Resilient. I was going to say unfuckable with. That's my word for you.
Unfuckable with that too.
What's it feel like to get a haymaker thrown at you that lands?
You get crushed. It feels like, well, my teammate freaking rocked me with a check hook a couple weeks ago. And it's like, when you turn on those old TVs and it's gray and black, like crackly, that's what that feels like. And you have to take a second to be like, first of all, you're like, damn, I just got hit hard. And second of all, is like, okay, breathe. We got to get back. We got to get back to focusing. So that is a fine line between I'm breaking right now and I got to get back to work.
Where's the worst place to get hit?
Head kick.
Head kick. That's it, right? I'm just thinking about the gut kick that you had on me, and I'm thinking if she really lands this and goes all in, I think I might throw up blood. That's a weird feeling.
You might
be hit so hard in the right place in the stomach that can cripple a man in seconds.
Yep. And if you go on YouTube and Google body kick, I might have taken it down because people were using my content and I don't know how to monetize on YouTube right at the moment. Right. But there was a video that went viral where my teammate Hector kicks me in the liver. And at one point in time, so it's a thing at my gym for guys to like try to drop me with the liver because I'm always talking shit, right? Yeah. And so this kick dropped me and it was like I did a boom, 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 like a repeat, you know what I mean? Like boom, boom. So it went viral on YouTube and dude, like millions of views. And I was like, but like now you have to build that. It's a muscle, right? Just like communication, just like it's a muscle that you have to build. And so, man, my liver is rock solid, bro. Like these dudes be trying to get me in the liver and I'm like, no.
Do you think, Des, that you're going to be the best Muay Thai fighter, female fighter in the world? Or are you?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I do believe that. I do believe that in my time. Well, I've trained with some of the best in the world. And what I can say is if I can keep up with some of the best in the world, I am part of that bucket. I train almost every day. I train with the highest level of athletes out there, UFC, any of the big names, Bellator, PFL. I train with them, train with the best coaches. I will travel and train. I am a hunter. Yeah. I go where the work is. I go where I know it's going to be hard because after that, I get my ass kicked at AKA with, some of the best there in the world. I can handle whatever's going to come for me because I've done that hard work, So
good. When I did that speech down in San Diego with you, I inadvertently, I speak from the heart when I speak. Most of my speeches are always different, but I talked about being a hunter. It's kind of interesting that you keep talking about being a hunter because that was kind of one of my main themes in that speech. And it was inspired by that, I think it was a jaguar that's pulling up that alligator up the mountain and it's gripping it in its mouth. Kind of a cool scene, right?
You did, didn't you?
Yeah, yes. I went deep into you got to be a hunter. You be that jaguar. That's what it's like. To win in life is actually like that. And to be resilient, the word you would describe yourself, you have to be a hunter to be resilient. You have to be able to take the licks, take the hits, and then you have to be able to give the hits. And that's really essentially what being a hunter is. It's the give and take, and it's a fight, and it's a battle. It's not a clear path. It's not an easy path. But as long as you don't stop and you keep pursuing that greater version of you, like you are, and you're always going to end up in a good place no matter what, and I like adding this to anything I do. So number one, it's always identity. It's long-term. It's till death. I won't do anything short-term. I always think to the end. And I always say, you're going to have to kill me. Like once I get hooked on a thing, like that's just my type A personality. You're going to have to kill me. And it's that hunter spirit that you talk about that I think the greatest people have. And they use it in a very quality way to matter and to make a difference in the world that matters. They're not using it to hurt. But essentially, it is that fierce hunter, we go and get it kind of spirit. And that's exactly the energy that's pulled off you. And I love it. I love being around people like you. So thank you so much for doing this podcast today. I wish we had more time. We're going to come back for sure. We have to.
All right.
So
yeah,
good.
absolutely.
So
it's been a
thank
pleasure.
you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, Des. So where can we send people to follow you, to get in your world, if they want to work with you, if they have opportunities for you, which I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have something that's really worthwhile for you to give. But where can we send people to find you?
Yeah, Instagram is my primary platform. So my Instagram is Desilu, Desilu. It's my grandpa used to call me Desilu, and then underscore Limon, Limon, because I just believe in turning life, from lemons kind of thing. So that's where you can find me, Desilu underscore Limon. All my contact information is there. Like I said, I'll have some really cool launches coming up this year. I'm fighting May 18th at the CU Arena in San Jose. It's huge. Scott Coker, you can look him up after this. He used to be the president of Bellator, original owner of Strikeforce. He's coming back to the Bay Area and starting a new promotion for California talent. And dude, it's going to be huge. So sick. I'm excited.
I'm so happy for you. Yep. Good luck with the fight. Good luck with your future. We're going to stay friends forever. I'm really grateful for you. Okay, so if you guys like the show, please like, follow, share, subscribe, go follow Des. She's amazing. This is a person that you want to share with the world. She's a gift to humanity. It'll be fun to follow her journey. Thank you for watching the show. Man on a Mission. We'll be back next week. We'll see you soon. I'm a man on a mission.